Good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. I am Hammer here with your daily mortgage rate update. Today, we'll be talking about why floating is good, an inflection point in the labor market, and $1,000 for a pair of Jordans. Anyway, remember, you can join me live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, on Facebook and YouTube as I do these live. If you're here live, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and give me a hashtag replay. Let me know in the comments that you were here. Also, be sure to answer the question of the day. If you're here live or on the replay, don't forget to smash that like button, tag us for an LO friend, share this post in a group if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button, give it the thumbs up, all that good stuff to help the channel, as they call it. Remember, you can also sign up and get a copy of our free email lock advice to your inbox each and every weekday morning, www.ratelockadvice.com, or use this cool QR code here. Have that go right to your phone. You can go ahead and also sign up for our text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com. $7 a month. You can't beat them. You should join them. And if you'd like to be reminded that I'm going live each weekday morning, you can sign up for that at hmmr.io/reminder, or use this cool QR code over here, and you too will be reminded when I am going live. So last but not least, check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Find out how we can help you to get loans from Google and social media. We'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So anyway, it's great to have you all here this morning. Let me know that you're here. Say hello. Let's go ahead and say hi to the live folks. See who we got here this morning. We've got Mr. Ron Siegel, who said today is National Strawberry Parfait Day. Now, that's something I could get behind. Love that one. And we've got Mallory Fodiatis here this morning. Good morning. Only 6 people on this morning. Is everybody taking the summer off? Am I just that boring? Is it because rate sheets aren't moving? Where is everybody? Good morning, Michael Love. Great to see you here as well. All right, well, not going to hold up for the slow people. Let's go ahead and do a question of the day based on the Happy National Parfait Day. What is your favorite kind of parfait? What is your favorite flavor parfait? And I think we also have to look up, what is a parfait? I'm going to look up parfait. Parfait definition. Because I would tell you what, when I think of a parfait, I think of the peanut butter parfait at Dairy Queen. A parfait is a cold sweet food made from sugar, eggs, cream, and usually other flavors, such as fruit or alcohol, like a strawberry parfait. There you go. It sounds like almost like an ice cream, but that's what I always think of. Good morning, Casey Roberts. Great to see you as well. So, okay, well, we will go ahead and let's get to the good stuff here. Talk about what we got going on this morning. So first and foremost, rate sheets today, eerily the same as yesterday. We've really not seen rate sheets move in about 3 trading sessions. Just very, very small movements. If you're seeing anything bigger than the slightest of movement, it's mainly for volume. If they're more aggressive and they want to try to pick up some volume or something, because mortgage-backed securities have not really moved much in 3 days. They've been running really flat. So has 10-year Treasury yield. And in fact, when we take a look here, using Mortgage News Daily as a reference point, you could see that mortgage rate sheets haven't really changed much at all. 7.02, 7.02, 7.01, 7.02 actually puts us on 4 days in a row, going on to the 5th. But for the 3rd day, when we haven't seen mortgage bonds move really much at all. Today's reprice risk is low. It's very unlikely that we see much movement today. Mortgage bonds currently down 2 basis points to start the day, right around 100.70. Now, we do have a technical resistance level, a cap or a roof, right around 100.75 that you'd see like right here. We did break above it for 1 day with this red candlestick. We started higher and fell back below it. Right here, we were at 100.79 a week ago that we barely closed just above it, and that lasted for about 5 seconds. So right around 100.75 is generally a cap. We've got a bit of a pennant formation showing here. In fact, let me just pull up a quick let's go ahead and take a screenshot, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we take a look here, you can see that we've got this happy shape right here, right? So this happy shape is a pennant formation, and I can, there we go, right? So, we are forming basically a pennant that you can see here. Dun, 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 right? So if you do this, you've got that pennant. Now, what tends to happen is when you break out of this, it tends to go pretty high or pretty low. Now, Friday, we're going to get the PCE inflation data. So there is an idea that we could see a pretty strong reaction on Friday if it breaks above. If we do, though, rate sheets aren't going to be tremendously better. Most lenders aren't going to price along all of those gains on a Friday heading into the weekend, but we should see some better pricing. So right now, the outlook remains like we've seen, though. Rates really shouldn't move higher from here. As long as we continue to see the expectation that the Fed is going to cut at least 2 times by the end of the year, and somewhat pricing in 3, about a 20% expectation of 3 rate cuts. I think we're going to see this actually increase next week, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But as long as we don't see any real change here, the expectation for the first cut to come in September, it's about a 60% expectation that we're going to see a cut in September. And in July, you could see 90% expectation that rates will stay exactly where they're at right now. So when we get to September, again, that is, you can see it right here, about a 60% expectation. Rates really aren't at risk of moving higher from here as long as the market continues to bet on these Fed rate cuts. Now, we are going to get Friday's PCE inflation data, and that is expected to come in, a little bit better than expected, or at least as well as expected. And it's expected to show the best inflation numbers that we've seen in a few months. So we should get a little bit of a reaction to that. We're not going to see a tremendous reaction because remember, the CPI data, the consumer price index, it basically takes the sizzle. So Siegel's talking about the pennant. Let's take a look there. Maybe rate sheets are being generated by the BLS. They publish numbers that are eerily similar week after week as well. Yeah, they really do. Good morning, Ms. Mulcahy. Great to see you. And Tim Kleila, great to have you here, my friend, as well. So Ron said this pennant, if interest is interesting, since the breakout's generally in the dominant direction the chart has been traveling. However, this pennant seems very balanced. It is. Take a look. I mean, we can see. Look at how crazy boring this is. I'll move this up on the screen. This was 618, which was last Tuesday. And then we've got 620, which was on Thursday. Remember, you had Juneteenth on Wednesday, so that doesn't show up in here. Markets were closed. But Thursday, Friday, Monday, and today, we're going to see another just boring day. If this were a heartbeat monitor, we'd be dead. That's very likely the case there. So good morning, Yasmin, Robert Bashirs, John Jones. Great to have all of you here. So again, now we're down about 8 basis points. I wouldn't really worry about it. Not enough to worry about. 10-year treasury at 4.25, very much in the realm of where it's been as well. So let's pull up a couple of other things that I wanted to go over with you. So as far as lock advice goes, I mean, that's really, it is what it is, right? If it's closing in the next 2 weeks, cautiously float, but we want to see Friday given an opportunity to improve a little bit with that PCE data. And then next week is really when we're going to see fireworks. Next week, we're going to get the BLS jobs data. We're also going to have the 4th of July on Thursday. So what's going to happen? You're going to see a tremendous amount of volatility on Friday because traders are going to look for the jobs data and trade it, even though they're in the middle of their 4-day weekend. Most of them are looking to take a 4-day weekend. So you are going to see some odd reactions. There will still likely be reduced trading volume, which exaggerates the moves that we see next week. So when that jobs data comes out on Friday, you will see a strong reaction to it, and then things will probably settle down. Now, the last jobs data we were looking for help on, and it kicked us in the teeth. And that's right here. On June 7th. You can see this big red candlestick right here on June 7th. That was a really ugly reaction, but yet a few days later, we were right back. And that was Friday. And a week later, Friday, we were actually at 100.72. and we started the day before at 100.69. So I am floating into next week's jobs data for sure. And there's a lot of talk now, and let me go ahead and put this up there for you. So there's a lot of talk. Markets continue to price in a good chance of September rate cut with 2 cuts for the year, but there is a lot of talk about inflection point. So hold on, let me get this to come on up. All right, there we go. Okay, so 5 things to start the day on the 24th, yesterday. Let's go ahead. And so here's what Joe is interested this morning. I wanted to kind of go over this part, right? For the most part, Neil's been bullish and optimistic the last several years. It's notable that he's concerned here. Neil's basic gist is that the odds of a Fed mistake are rising. At its most recent meeting, it signaled only 1 rate cut through the end of the year. It's if we look at the dot plot, right? Meanwhile, inflation has been cooling. There are some signs of the consumer losing momentum. Housing is slowing, and the unemployment rate has been slowly ticking higher. Now, again, what we've been kind of fighting, as Ron pointed out, is BLS jobs data showing increased number of jobs created. It's been a bit rosy, right? However, this term inflection point is being used quite a bit. It's hard to argue the labor market is overheating. The pace of job creation has slowed. Measures like job openings have come way down. Quits have come way down. As Goldman's top economist, Jan Hatzius, warned earlier this month, we may soon be at an inflection point where we actually start to see a pickup in layoffs rather than unemployment rising simply because job seekers are having a hard time finding work. Now, Mary Daly, the San Francisco Fed president, yesterday also said something very similar to that. Fed's daily warns of labor market risks nearing inflection point. She is a voting member, by the way. She warned the U.S. labor market is nearing an inflection point where further slowing could mean higher unemployment. So the labor market is really going to be watched closely by markets because, remember, the Fed's mandate is to get inflation to 2%. And to maximize employment. And the Fed, we already see inflation improving. If the Fed holds rates too long and we see unemployment rise, we see the labor market take a beating, the Fed's going to have to worry about that. So they're trying to balance on that. So that's what we're waiting to see here is there's a lot of talk about this. So again, next week's labor market data, the JOLTS data, as well as the BLS data, going to be a big deal. Next week's when we got the best chance to really see some movement. So this week we've got GDP data coming out on Friday. It's the final reading for the first quarter. Last time around, we had the monthly piece or the quarterly PCE data come in off of that, and it actually helped a little bit. And then we are expecting to see the monthly PCE data help on Friday. So it looks likely that we're going to end this week with rate sheets at least a little bit better than where we are right now. Not much, but at least the potential of a little bit better and not a lot of risk that it's going to be worse. Next week, we go into the labor market. We're definitely advising to float into that. We have been queuing up to hit these labor reports and see them help rates, and they have not been. And again, the last one did hurt us, but it hurt us for about a week. So we definitely want to continue floating everything as we move into this. Again, let me throw it up on the screen. You're cautiously floating anything's closing over the next couple of weeks because we do have that holiday coming, but anything's closing in 15 to 30, anything's closing, the second half of July and beyond, you absolutely want to be floating. I would only lock if you have an extremely risk-averse consumer, somebody who's really tight on DTI or some other reason that you can't take any risks on this because there's just too much opportunity to see rates improve next week. So that's kind of where we're at. All right, my friends. Well, I appreciate all of you jumping on. Looks like we finally did. Looks like we were a little slow to get started this morning, but we do have 31 people on this now. So it's great to see all of you here. Say hello if you would like. And again, if I missed you, I'm sorry. I always love saying hi to all of you. And I hope that helps you today. So enjoy your Tuesday. One more time, I'll throw it up here. The outlook, it should be a quiet day. Reprice risk on the day is low. There's no reason to expect any big moves today. That would cause repricing better or worse. It should be a fairly quiet day. We've got a 2-year treasury auction this afternoon. There's some housing data this morning. I think we could get a consumer confidence reading, but it's nothing that I would even give much of a thing to. So thank you, Deb. Good morning. And Rob Wilson, great to see you here. All right. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Have a fantastic Tuesday, my friends. Bye-bye.